Ha ha. Nice try, Elon, if that's your name, your real name. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, your host, P5, host of the Crescent City Connection, the fastest rising Louisiana sports show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. In our today's show, we're going to talk Saints, but in a different way. We're going to have a town hall meeting, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, it's Saturday. You know what that means. College. LSU may be off, but we got to talk about last week. Aggies game. We will discuss. And, of course, the upcoming Bama game. And we're going to talk about the Tulane Green Wave winning streak. And, of course, we're going to give T5's top 5 high schools in Louisiana doing the most this football season. And then we're going to round things off with a little Pels talk. Zion Williamson, is he stepping up or stepping down? What's going on with the Pelicans right now? And, of course, Jordan Hawkins standing on business. Let's see what happens with the second year homie. And, of course, Northwestern. I guess we gotta talk about it. We'll get into it. But of course, that and a lot more. We're gonna have some fun here today on the Crescent City Connection on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to Crescent City Connection here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, the fastest rising Louisiana sports show, where we cover all the bases, ladies and gentlemen, all corners of the state and the Gulf Coast region, if you will. I'm T5, your host, of course. We will not be shut down by Elon, no matter what he tries, all his trickerations and machinations. Nah. It's not that. But we're back and we're here, and it's high noon on a Saturday. You know how we do. You know what time of day it is, and of course, as the preview stated, we're gonna get into some sports. But first and foremost, the plugs. We have to give a shout out to our lovely sponsors. And I have a little surprise for you folks. Planet Jerky, premium beef jerky. It's here. Yeah, I told y'all. Y'all thought I was clowning about trying to get that sponsorship. Yeah, buddy. That sweet teriyaki is legit. A lot of flavor to it, and it's not like hard chewy. It's good chewy. You're not gonna mess your teeth up on it. And it got a lot of flavor to it, man. 10 out of 10. Plain jerky. Holla at your boy. Look at that sponsorship out you. And of course, shout out to Mr. Celia B. Seal the Deal Wax Seals. You're trying to be bougie, trying to look fly as a kite, have your letters, have your invitations for your wedding, baby shower, quinceañera, and you're trying to be bougie, trying to show up all them the cousins that married a high value dude with a lot of money. You're trying to show them up. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Or that friend from school that thinks she too much, and you inviting her and show her that you done came up. Seal the deal, wax seals is the way to go. And of course, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. That's why we rock around here. Keep the heat and the lights on. You check out the schedules, check out all the other shows. Man, that Beef Jerky is fire. And all the other bios. And of course, you can follow us on all socials at iesportsradio.com. You can follow myself at on the X at Who Is T Fizzle, and of course at Crescent City _IE, where I talk a lot of stuff about sports. But as promised, don't take my word for it. Let's hear for our lovely sponsors, and then after that, we'll come back. And I probably won't have beef jerky in my mouth anymore. But as we return to the Crescent City Connection, you're on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Man, some good beef jerky.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at iSports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making iSports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. You're on the Crescent City Connection, fastest rising Louisiana sports show on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And ladies and gentlemen, I think I may have made a mistake. I think I made a mistake in opening that bag of Planet Jerky premium brisket beef jerky because, man, that thing is good. But of course, as promised, let's get right into it. Pull off the Band-Aid. Let's have a talk, ladies and gentlemen, about the Saints. Usually this is the part where we go into the stats and what happened in the last game. Saints lost to the Chargers. Chargers aren't a bad team, but Chargers aren't a good team either. Defense is great. Offense is kind of meh. New head coach, yada, yada, yada. All their wide receivers are dang near hurt, banged up and everything. And game started off great. Started off all right. We started off with a safety of all things. But we, of course, we all know about the injuries to the offensive line. We know about injuries to some of the receivers. We got Spencer Rattler in there who's on his third game. Yada, 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 yada. Saints lose. 6 games in a row, folks. And now we have to have some tough talks. There's a couple of different camps here in the Who Dat Nation. There are some that understand that, we have injuries. We didn't expect Eric McCoy to go down. He's the anchor of the offensive line. We didn't expect Cedric Ruiz to go down. Lucas Patrick, the backup to the backup to the backup, all the backups of the offensive line going down. We look like a totally different team from week 1 and 2 to, where we're at right now. We didn't expect Derek Carr to go down as well. It's like a lot of things went wrong fast. So there's that, of course. And of course, there's the group that says, hey, next man up. Even though there's a huge drop-off from starters to second string, third string, dudes that literally just came off the street. And of course, there's the group that really don't like Dennis Allen. And I mean, I get it. Your personality really doesn't matter to me as long as you're winning games, but therein lies the problem. He's not winning games. And I get it. He reminds people of Mr. Coach Klein. Mr. Coach Klein for the Water Boy. He reminds people of Mr. Coach Klein. How he doesn't have a real strong personality. He's just he's like the Mr. Coach Klein of the defense. And a lot of people don't like Dennis Allen. They want to coach with personality, with some fire, with some Sean Paytonism. And that is 100% opposite of what Dennis Allen is. And for that, Folks just naturally don't like him. And they cover it up with, oh, he's a bad coach. He was a bad coach in Oakland. He's a bad coach. Da-da-da-da. He's only good at defense. Da-da-da-da-da. If you coach defense and you only coach defense and you stick to coaching defense, I am fine with that. As long as you leave the offense to the offense. Now, we all saw what was going on with Pete Carmichael last year. Pete Carmichael was boo-boo, running that old school offense, and we were all hyped to see what Clint Kubiak could do. He came in, first 2 games, offense was humming, and then we had the injuries. So if you can give me that offense with his defense, I'm cool with him being coach as long as we getting W's. But like I said, we're not getting the W's because of the injuries. It's not like he's out here like Nick Sirianni. Sorry, Philly, to throw you under the bus. It's not like he's out here like Nick Sirianni making boo-boo judgment calls. You know? So I give him that much. And then there's the group that wants to just tear the whole thing down. I mean, Mickey Loomis, Dennis Allen, and while you're at it, take Derek Carr with you. I mean, they want to tear the whole thing down. They feel like Mickey Loomis is archaic, like he's still kicking the can down the street with these contracts. He's not building up with the youth movement. He's got older dudes still playing and they don't need to be playing. That sort of thing. He's loyal to a fault, all that stuff. So that's the different camps here in the Who Dat Nation right now. And none of them are necessarily wrong in a way. Dennis Allen could be just who he is. A great defensive coach or a good to great defensive coach that's not that good at coaching a team. Mickey Loomis, his style could be archaic with kicking the can down the road. Don't get me wrong, he's a cap wizard because every year we have this discussion with the news media, the national media, talk about, oh, the Saints are in cap hell. The Saints are in cap hell. Next thing you know, restructure, wave his magic wand, and we're out of cap hell. But after a while, it gets kind of old, you know? And then, of course, you can look at it from the logical sense. Yeah, we've had injuries. The first 2 games, we were humming. And then we caught them injuries on the offensive line, and everything went from 0 to 100 real quick. So it's a little bit of everything. Now you have folks talking about we need to keep tanking. Oh, that's what we're not gonna do. Start being one of those fan bases, one of those groups that start talking about tanking. Because there's no such creature. I'll tell you why. Because if you go into that locker room right now, you stop DeMario Davis, you stop Alvin Kamara, you stop one of them boys and say, hey, y'all need a tank so we can get a top 5 pick. Let me know how well that works out for you. Let me know what kind of look or if they say anything. Let me know how that the response you get. Yeah, there is no such thing. Because I'll tell you another thing. The coaches, they can get fired at any time. You tell me they're going to sit there and start benching and sitting dudes and starting dudes, knowing their job is on the line. They might not be here next year anyway to enjoy that draft pick. Yeah. The only person that may or may not benefit from an actual tank job is the GM. And that is why you don't go around talking that you need the tank. You need the tank. Because it don't exist. That is a myth. That is a myth made by gamblers and degenerative gamblers and bettors and all those types. So, where do we go from here? That is a very good question. Derek Carr should be coming back tomorrow for the Panthers game. If you lose to the Panthers, I understand they're a divisional team and everything, but we just stomped the Panthers week 1. They benched Bryce Young for Big Red, Andy Dalton. Then they put Bryce Young back in. If for some weirdo reason we lose to the Panthers, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this straight. Firing Dennis Allen in the middle of the season ain't going to do nothing. It ain't. It's not going to change nothing. It's not going to do nothing. Ain't going to change nothing. Why? Because he ran the defense. He doesn't run the whole team. Well, he runs the whole team, but I mean, he sticks to defense stuff. Clint Kubiak sticks to offense stuff, and they meet in the middle, and there you go. Now, a lot of people get mad. Man, if we start winning games, we're going to lose out on our high draft pick. Really? You want to be that person? A high draft pick? We don't even know who's coming out. Get out of here, stuff, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I open it up to you, the Crescent City Connection, the family. Leave it in the comments, wherever you find this video, wherever you're watching, social media. If you're on the group, the Facebook group, or you find the video on YouTube or wherever, leave it in the comments section. What do you think we should do? How do you feel about Dennis Allen, Mickey Loomis, the team as a whole? How are you feeling right now? What do you think we should do going forward? But that's it for Saints Talk. When we return, it's Saturday. You know what that means. College. And we're going to have to talk about what LSU did. Not what LSU did, but what Tulane is currently doing. Yes, we're going to talk some Uptown football this week too, since LSU was on the bye. We're going to talk about that and a little bit more. We return to the Crescent City Connection on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Yes, sir.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio. Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're back to the Crescent City Connection on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Shout out to the homies, Mike P with the master plan, Big Cheese, and Big Cheese over here, Mr. Boyney with the Big Cheese over here. You check out those shows on iesportsradio.com. Give them a follow. See what's happening over here. As promised, it's Saturday. You know what that means. College. Louisiana sports. First and foremost, let's do the scoreboard. Last week, week 9, UL was off, but everybody else was cooking. La Tech defeated UTEP 14-10. Tulane still cooking 45. North Texas 37. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, they did play Pump the Party in North Texas, and they successfully made it home. McNeese fell to Nicholls State 19-24. A little in-state action. ULM fell to South Alabama 17-46. Incarnate Word, they pull off the Louisiana hat trick. They will win 34, defeating Southeastern 34-31. They previously beat Nicholls State, McNeese, and now Southeastern completing the hat trick. Congratulations, Incarnate Word. Man, glad to start the far up. These bad boys off. Audible. Southern lost to FAMU 24-6. And Grambling lost to Texas Southern 24-17. Come on, man. And of course, LSU fell to Texas A&M. And we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of that one a little bit later. But of course, it's that time, ladies and gentlemen. The fastest rising sports segment, the game show that everyone loves. Say it with me now. Ladies and gentlemen, say it with me now. How much did Northwestern lose by? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to ask the tough question. How much did Northwestern State lose by? At-home players. Northwestern played the football juggernaut known as Lamar. You know Lamar from Revenge of the Nerds. How much did Northwestern State lose by? Do 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 do. Pins down. Northwestern State at their homecoming, no less, lost 42-10 to the football juggernaut known as Lamar. Northwestern State, what are we doing? You lost at your own homecoming to Lamar? Lamar! It wasn't even Booger. You lost to Lamar. Of all the nerds, you lose to Lamar. It wasn't the redhead that plays the violin. It wasn't even the leader. You lose to Lamar. What are we doing, Northwestern State? You embarrassing us, bro. Luckily, Lamar has a bye. Don't know why. Lamar has a bye. It's not like they try. That name needs to die. They make their fans want to cry, but Lamar has a bye. Shout out to Happy Gilmore. What are we doing, man? This week, we'll go into the Week 10 preview. We'll go into the preview. La Tech lost to Sam Houston State 9-3. This is Tuesday. The Cajuns, on the other hand, come off their bye and they go right back to work. 23, Texas State 17. Cajuns doing work over here. Thursday, Tulane 34, Charlotte 3. And this was on ESPN, ladies and gentlemen. So, like, they out here beating up people on primetime television. And we're going to go right into it. Tulane. We're going to talk about LSU. You ought to buy this week. We'll talk about you in a little bit. Let's get right into Tulane since we just kind of segued. Perfect segue. We'll go right into Tulane for a change. The Tulane Green Wave, 6-game winning streak. By God, Uptown football, what is y'all doing upstairs? They's out here cranking. Coach Summerall got these boys out here acting bad. On top of that, whenever they win, no matter if it's home or away, they're playing Pump the Party. PNC. If you know, you know. They're out here playing Pump the Party in other people's stadiums. That should be a federal offense. That's blatant disrespect. Man. Let's see. Let's look at what they did. Tulane Green Wave. Darian Mensah, 21 for 29 and 214 yards. Now, he didn't score any touchdowns throwing, but he was a field general. He is slowly but surely picking up the game and doing what he needs to do. He had some good reads last week. But the star of the show, Mr. Mekhi Hughes, 27 rushes, 117 yards, 4.3 average on yards, and 2 tutties. And he went over the century mark in the first half for a second time. Congratulations, Mr. Mekhi Hughes. As a matter of fact, Mekhi Hughes had just as many rushing yards as Charlotte had the whole game. I kid you not. Not for nothing. like I said, Green Wave, 270. Charlotte, 120 in rushing yards. So he basically had 3 less yards than they had total by himself. And not to be outdone, the passing game was there in full effect. Mr. Mario Williams, the transfer, showed up. Oh, boy. He's fogging up. 8 targets, 6 receptions, 96 yards. Yo Keith Brown, 8 targets, 7 receptions, 53 yards. And not only that, but yes, as usual, the defense did show up with Mr. Micah Robinson with the "Can I get a pick six? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Charlotte, you ain't. Boy, they did the thing. Defense, yeah, they did the thing. Time of possession, 42 minutes and 9 seconds to Charlotte's whopping 17:51. They ran the ball, held the ball, and made sure you did not do anything with it. Now, after they dropped the game to Kansas State, they should have won, and they dropped that game to Oklahoma. They've been on a streak, 6-game winning streak, handling business in the American Conference. So, how does Tulane follow up with that? Well, could they be in store for a prime playoff spot by winning their conference championship? Maybe. Ladies and gentlemen, Uptown football is back, baby. So, let's talk about it. LSU, Aggies. Oh, boy. We knew one of these games was going to be a trap game. Some people thought it might have been the Arkansas game. Nope. Turns out it was this one, the Aggies. Connor Wegman was touted to be a real fire quarterback coming out of high school. So far, he has not shown it. So the game plan was shut him down, make sure they don't run the ball, get the ball back to Nuss, and let the boy cook. And for the most part, that's kind of what was happening. Until, for some reason, A&M decided to, you know what? Things aren't going our way. Let's bench Wegman and put in the backup. And that's where every single wheel came off that bus. Because LSU did not prepare for the marvelous Marcel Reed. That boy came in and you swore up and down LSU had never played a running quarterback before. This boy only passed the ball like one time, and that was a little dump-off pass, and even that went for a bunch of yards. They did nothing but run the ball on LSU. And it worked. It worked. They could not stop the run for nothing. LSU could not stop the run for nothing. On top of that, Nussmeier looked shook. On the offensive side, Nussmeier, he was trying to do a little too much, and in some plays he looked kind of shook. The boy went 25 for 50. There's no way Nussmeier should be throwing 50 passes unless we got the ball that much. 25 for 50, 405 yards, 2 TDs, but 3 interceptions. One of them was a pick six. A&M, man, their defense, they're not defense coach, their head coach, who was a former defensive coordinator under Brian Kelly, no less. He had a game plan for Nussmeier. He gave him all kinds of different looks, checked out of a bunch of different looks, and they put pressure on him when they needed to. And that's exactly how they got to Nussmeier. He saw things. One would say he saw ghost, because a couple of those passes he didn't have no business throwing, and a couple of those passes the wide receivers made up for it. So don't jump off the Nuss bus yet, because he can recover from this. It's just that this particular coach had the intel and the game plan ready for him. Now, will Bama have that same success? That remains to be seen. But don't worry, we will get into that next week. And enough Tigers talk. We're going to get into T5's Top 5. And if you're new to the show, ladies and gentlemen, T5's Top 5 is my top 5 Louisiana high school teams in the state. I'll give you a rundown last week. Last week, we had Edna Carr, number 1. Neville, number 2, out of Monroe. Acadiana, number 3. Ruston went down to number 4. And Turling's Catholic crept up from Baton Rouge from number 5. Now your new T5's top 5. We have number 5, previously number 7, but they're now number 5, Alexandria. Number 4, they fell, Neville. Number 3, Acadiana, shout out to them Wrecking Rams. Number 3, previously number 3. They were previously number 3. Ruston back up to number 2. And once again, number 1 with a bullet out of New Orleans, Edna Carr. So that's Alexandria 5, Neville 4, Acadiana 3, Ruston 2, Edna Carr number 1. And special shout out to Louisiana High Schools Officiating Association. Football Service Award winners, providing, ladies and gentlemen, I can read, ladies and gentlemen, providing 5 years of service. And especially one in particular, the homie Desmond Martin, who provides 6 years of service. These officials, ladies and gentlemen, high school football officials. Me and the homie go way back, middle school, high school, and he's doing the thing, providing officiating for high school football in Baton Rouge and in the local area Louisiana high school officials. You see an official and they're not doing a crummy job, give them a shout out because they are doing the Lord's work. And that is it for our Louisiana high school and college spotlight. When we return, though, round things out with some Pels talk because they've been on the road again. And we're going to see, Zion Williamson. Which Zion are we going to get this year? We'll talk about it when we return on the Crescent City Connection on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Yes, sir.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Notorious Law.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Everybody, this is Darren Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunderous Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Shout out to the homie, Mr. Taryn Rodriguez at Set Point, and of course, D&D Music Factory with the Fast Break, covering all things basketball. Speaking of basketball, segue to some Pro Pels talk, ladies and gentlemen. The Pelicans were on the road, and everything looked pretty good until dun dun dun. Man, I don't know what to say. Things just, I don't know if it's bad juju or what. These New Orleans teams catching these injuries, man. We split with the Blazers. We beat the Blazers the first game. Second game, we lose. Like, I don't know what's going on. What's happening over here? 125 to 103. Okay. We lost We lost DeJounte Murray after the first game. I can see that, but what's going on with the rest of the team? It's like we just went in there and expected to win. Oh, you talk about expecting to win. We had 2 back-to-back games against Golden State, who, might I add, are without Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins. And what happens? We don't lose just one of them. We lose both of them. It's like we went in there and just expected to win. The energy was 100% off. It was like, click, the energy was turned off. Like somebody didn't pay the electric bill because we just went in there dragging. And in turn, they dragged us. It's like, okay, Steve Kerr, before the first game, made a public announcement that he was going to bench Jonathan Kuminga. You know how Jonathan Kuminga responded? By going off, coming off the bench. It's like he Jedi mind tricked his own people, his own team. Shout out to Steve Kerr. That was brilliant. And Draymond Green didn't have but like 4 points that first game because he was busy facilitating, passing the ball, rebounding. Second game, he starts scoring. We were outmatched and outcoached that first game. I mean, that second, both games. Because it's like it's like the Pelicans had like no energy going on. But then we came home to face the Pacers in the blender. And things looked a lot better. We pick up the dub. 125 to 110. My bad, 118. The game was pretty what and what the whole time. Back and forth. The highest I can recall the Pacers lead was probably by like 5 points. Until like the fourth quarter, the Pelicans crept back, took the lead, and they started inching away by maybe like 8 points. And they had to go deep into the bench because we were out DeJounte. Still no trade, but he's coming back soon. No Herb and no CJ. So we had GTA, Jose Alvarado starting. We had Hawkins starting, B.I., Zion, and Yves Missi, the rookie, made his first start. Usually he comes off the bench. He made his first career start, so shout out to him. And he didn't score but like 4 points, but it was everything else he did. The homie Yves Missi. He had 4 points, 10 rebounds, 1 block, but he was protecting the rim. That's one thing the Pelicans have been missing. Rim protection. As a lot of people were like, okay, who's gonna run the 5? Who's gonna run the center? We need rim protection. We need rebound. Yves Missi did that. Didn't score a lot of points, but he did what he needed to do. Defensive deterrent. Made folks think twice about coming down that lane. Got a clean block on Miles Turner. That's exactly what we needed in the 5 spot. Yves Missi gave it. Now, don't get me wrong. I still want to see him come off the bench because I don't want to see him go against these top tier centers like Joker and them and him pick up 2 easy fouls, in the first quarter. I don't want that. So I think they should continue to go by a matchup to matchup basis with ease. Some game he may start, another game he may not, depending on the matchup. But shout out to the rookie out here, man, making a strong case for himself for future starting 5. But one dude that was definitely carrying this team consistently through this stretch, Mr. Jordan Hawkins. Hawk had 37 minutes, 23 points, 7 for 17 field goals, 2 for 8 from 3, while going through back spasms, dealing with back spasms. He was like, nah, as long as I can move, let me know what I have to do. He was back and forth chirping with veterans. They was out here trying to put him on his butt and knock him down, and he wasn't having none of it. In a post-game interview, one of the local writers asked him, hey, how are you, feel getting up into the face of some of these veterans? They trying to, punk you out and stuff. He was like, man, he said, I only fear God. I was like, this cat is for reals. He ain't scared of none of these cats, none of these vets. He said, pooch y'all, he's standing on business. And that's exactly what we need from him. That's that growth. We're watching this dude grow in real time, ladies and gentlemen. We seen it with Trey. It took from one year to the next. Same thing with Hawk. We're seeing it from one year to the next. He's becoming a veteran in like real time. He ain't taking nothing from nobody because he know he's gonna get knocked down. He's a lighter dude than everybody else. But he out here chirping with the big dogs like that. Salute to the second year. Not a rook no more. I can't call him the rook. Salute to the young man. Hawk is out here doing the business. But the last thing I want to touch on is the Zion Williamson discussion. Zion had, let me see, 37 minutes, 34 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists, 14 for 20. And the other game, it had to be like his worst game ever against the Warriors. And he bounces back. Now, let's take this into consideration. The Pacers, sorry, Indiana fans, let's be honest. The Pacers don't play anything that resembles defense. So there is that. But for some reason, Zion has these up and down games like, it's like he has to be motivated or something. Or he has to hear somebody talking negative about him in order for him to show up. It's crazy. And a lot of people wanted to get off the wagon like, hey, is Zion is he even a good fit here in New Orleans? That depends on him. He has to come with this, like he said in the offseason. He said he's going on a revenge tour. He's out to prove himself. Well, dude, you got to prove yourself every night, bro. You can't go on the road and take a night off like that, especially in a game you know you should win. With no Steph Curry. Him and B.I., they took the night off on the Warriors games, Blazers and the Warriors games. They took the night off. You're the leader now. They're building this franchise around you. You got to bring it every night. You can't have Jordan Hawkins showing you up. You got to be playing off him. Young dudes like Yves Mises, they're gonna be looking towards you for leadership. This is your team now, bro. Got to get that together and be more consistent. Now, next game is Sunday versus the Hawks. We have some familiar faces showing up, man. Larry Nance and Dyson Daniels. They'll be in the blender, man. We got to get this dub though, man. We got to start putting these pieces, piecing these wins together. I know we down some players and everything, but man, we really need to be piecing these wins together, holding it down for when Herb, CJ, Trey, and DeJounte come back. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for Pels Talk. And that's it for the show this week. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I enjoyed this time on a Saturday spent with you, or whatever day you're watching this. As always, ladies and gentlemen, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. Shout out to iesportsradio.com. All the other shows, check us out right here. Of course, you can find me on the X at my personal page, Who is T Fizzle, where I talk football, anime, comics, movies, pop culture, whatever under the sun. And you can find me on Crescent City _IE, where I talk the sports and the tweets and the Twitters, the Twitter machines. And of course, you can go to iesportsradio.com where you can find our schedules, the other shows, our bios and everything. Look us up. And of course, we have merch at iesportsradio.com/shop where you can check us out. Look at some of the shirts, the bandanas, the outfits that the kids like to wear these days. And of course, on Wednesdays, you can find me on IE Wrestling. The IE Wrestling Show with the homie, Martine, the SoCal Saint, the new 2-man power trip. Check us out, high noon on Wednesdays. We talk the grapples. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, you enjoy yourself. You, I don't know about you, but definitely you. Enjoy your Saturday. Be blessed. We love yous. Enjoy the outro music. And I will see you next week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Yes, sir.